Surprising news out of Las Vegas. The Raiders find themselves at a breaking point, and the next game could decide everything. Fans are frustrated, players are under pressure, and the season is hanging by a thread. This matchup against the Colts isn't just another game, it might be the moment that shapes the entire year. The Raiders are sitting at 1-3, and everyone knows you can't afford to slip to 1-4. The tension is real. This is the biggest game of the season so far, and it's going to test the offense, the defense, and the leadership inside that locker room. But before we dive into the latest breakdown and keys to victory, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and don't forget to ring the bell icon. That way, you'll always stay updated with every piece of breaking Raiders news. Now, let's move on to the story that matters most. Let's start with the offense, because the truth is clear, turnovers have been the biggest problem. If Geno Smith protects the football, the Raiders win more games, simple as that. The numbers don't lie. Every time he forces the ball, defenses are waiting, and it's been costly. The pressure is already on him, and if the mistakes continue, it's only going to get worse. And that leads to the next key, Ashton Jeanty. Last week, he was electric with over 150 total yards and 3 touchdowns. The offense feels alive when he touches the ball, and with a backup left tackle stepping in, leaning on Jeanty isn't just smart, it's necessary. If he doesn't get 20 or more touches in this game, the game plan is broken from the start, and that's only the beginning. Because if the Raiders don't adjust on offense, the defense is going to face even bigger challenges. So what needs to happen next? Let's break it down. The Raiders need more than just their usual playmakers if they want to survive this season. And one name that deserves more attention is Jack Bech. Pete Carroll has hinted at it already, and honestly, it's time. Dante Thornton Jr. has been given plenty of opportunities, but the results just haven't been there. Across over 160 snaps, he's pulled in only a small handful of catches. Meanwhile, Bech, on far fewer chances, has shown efficiency, better separation, and stronger blocking. When the ball comes his way, he makes it count. That's exactly the kind of reliability the offense is missing. Think about it, Geno Smith is already under fire for turnovers. If Bech can create separation as a third or fourth read, it gives the quarterback a safer option and keeps the chains moving. Even the blocking numbers show Bech is outperforming Thornton, which matters a lot in a game where running lanes are going to be critical. And while Bech needs more snaps, let's not ignore the obvious, Brock Bowers must be featured. Stop talking about giving him more targets, just do it. Even at less than full health, Bowers ranks among the best in the league at creating space. He consistently opens up the field, something the Raiders desperately need when other receivers struggle to get free. The bottom line? The offense can't rely only on Myers, Bowers, and Jeanty every single week. Somebody else has to rise up. Maybe that's Bech, maybe it's Thornton turning things around, but the Raiders can't win without a new face stepping forward. And speaking of stepping up, what about the defense? Because if the offense has questions, the defense is facing even bigger ones. Let's dive into that next. We've broken down the keys on offense, protect the football, lean on Ashton Jeanty, and make Brock Bowers the centerpiece. But now, the real test begins on the defensive side of the ball. The Colts bring weapons that can punish you quickly if you're not disciplined. Wide receiver Josh Downs has been heating up, and Michael Pittman Jr., even if he's banged up, is still dangerous every time he steps on the field. And then there's Jonathan Taylor, the kind of running back who can take over a game if you let him get rolling. The Raiders' defense can't afford to play soft or wait until the second half to wake up. This is about setting the tone early. Gap discipline against Taylor, tight coverage on those quick outs and slants, and above all, tackling. One missed tackle against a team like the Colts can turn a short gain into a game-changing play. But here's the catch, while everyone talks about Taylor and Pittman, Daniel Jones has quietly been turnover-prone all season. That's where the Raiders' defense needs to capitalize. Force mistakes, pressure the quarterback, and flip the momentum. The Raiders' defense has one mission above all: stop Jonathan Taylor. He's the engine of the Colts offense, the spark that makes everything else go. Shut him down, and suddenly Daniel Jones is the one who has to carry the load. And let's be honest, if Jones beats you throwing the football, you tip your cap and move on. That's a gamble worth taking. To pull it off, the Raiders have to get aggressive. Stack the box, bring the safeties closer to the line, and hit Taylor every chance you get. Whether it's inside runs, screens, or dump-offs, the defense must swarm to him. He's dangerous in space, so don't give him any. Force the game into Jones' hands and live with the results. But it's not just Taylor. Michael Pittman Jr. is another threat, and right now, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. That's where the Raiders need to be ruthless. Press him at the line, stay physical on every route, and make him work for every inch. An injured receiver doesn't want to be pushed around, so keep pushing until he feels it. This isn't the week for soft coverage or light tackling. The Raiders' defensive line and linebackers must buckle up, hit hard, and set the tone from the first snap. If they don't, Taylor and Pittman will control the game. For the love of football, someone has to help Maxx Crosby. Week after week, he puts on a performance that borders on legendary, and yet the Raiders can't turn it into wins. Last game might have been one of the best defensive efforts by a single player in recent memory, but one man alone can't carry a defense. That's why others must step up. Tyree Wilson has shown flashes, but now is the time to turn potential into consistency. Malcolm Koonce needs to pressure Daniel Jones when he drops back. The interior guys, Thomas Booker, Adam Butler, even young faces like Tonka Hemingway, need to bring energy in the trenches. Rotate them, keep them fresh, but make sure Crosby isn't left to do all the work by himself. Because here's the truth, if it's always the Maxx Crosby show, the Raiders' defense will stay one-dimensional. Tyree should see more snaps, especially inside against the run. And if it takes 3 defensive tackles to clog lanes and stop Taylor, so be it. This game is about grit and numbers, not just one superstar. But beyond that, the defense has to eliminate the big plays. That's when quarterbacks like Daniel Jones get overconfident. When he hits a deep shot or Taylor breaks a long run, the momentum swings, and suddenly the Colts believe they can control the game. Force them into the slow, grinding style, short throws, small gains, and no fireworks. Make them earn every single yard. Here's the stat that blows my mind, the Colts lead the entire NFL in plays of 40 yards or more. They already have 4 of them through the air and on the ground. On top of that, they're averaging 6.5 yards per play, number 1 in the league. Be honest, who would have predicted that back in week 1? Certainly not me. And yet here they are, proving explosive on offense and sitting at 3-1 with Daniel Jones under center. But here's the truth, if the Raiders can limit those big plays, the Colts suddenly look a lot more ordinary. Without the chunk gains, Indy's attack turns into slow, methodical drives, and that's where mistakes happen. That's the difference between letting them run wild and forcing them to grind out every yard. Now, we've talked about the keys to victory all night. Offense needs balance. Defense needs discipline. And most importantly, someone besides Maxx Crosby must step up. If those things happen, the Raiders can walk away with a win. My prediction? It's going to be close, nail-biting, down to the wire. Raiders 24, Colts 23. A one-point battle that tests character, grit, and culture. Games like this reveal what a team is truly made of. Do they have fight in their heart? Or do they fold when the moment gets heavy?